Good, great evening to you. It's your girl Keeley. I am a psychotherapist in private practice, and I would just like to take this moment to respond to a really profound post today that was in the group. Let me see if I can get the time that it came up. Well, it just says 10 hours ago, but it says it was an anonymous post that says, "This is what the root cause of my depression was, my mother-in-law." And so I think it's important that I say, as I am mixed race, I have a black mum and I have a white dad. And I think one of the benefits for me is that I help a whole raft of people from across society. And often people feel very comfortable with myself. And I think I've often been told that my own identity is helpful to people. So often I found that some Asian clients would prefer me because they don't have to worry that they'll never see me at Asian events and so on. And so, when I'm thinking about this particular post about a mother-in-law and the impact on this individual, I think about culture, caste systems. I also think about the pressure that people are under to keep people happy. So this is almost like people pleasing on Valium. It's people pleasing, and then there is a whole community around people, individuals that can make it very difficult to be autonomous. And I think one thing we also have to be mindful of is actually freedom is not free. So if this individual finds her voice, we, as a psychotherapist, I also have to be conscious that you don't put yourself in harm's way and that there's no risk of violence or any harm to you. So before I give any words of encouragement, I think, you also have to assess the safety on your situation. But it sounds like, with regards to whether your mother-in-law comes and stays at your house, it feels that you're getting to break point. And when you get to break point, the thing is, you may have got to break point lots of times before. However, you concede or the guilt gets to you, and then so you just accept. However, what I've realized from the many Asian people that I've come to understand so much about family pressure, how, sisters can treat wives coming into new families, is that finding your autonomy, finding your own voice is very difficult. And so, the model I've studied is Western psychology, which is always about find your voice, be autonomous. But actually, for some people, finding your voice can be downright dangerous. And so I think, you don't live with her. I think I've tried meditation. That has helped me to distance myself from her. I think meditation will only take you so far. I think the challenge is my hope is that there comes a break point where you have to begin to find your voice, even though that contradicts what I said about being careful. But that this is a boundary, and that there is a benefit to you letting people know that this is a no-go. And you've already done it before here, my anonymous friend. You already made it clear that you wouldn't have children in your parents-in-law's household, and you got out. And I guess the challenge is whether you choose to play happy families. And I know that the pressure is immensely big for you. I know that that is very different. The levels and the profoundness of that is very impactful. However, you have been able to set a boundary. You didn't have your children in your parent-in-law's house. And the reality of that, and this is one of the reasons why Southall Sisters exists, because we know that many Asian women were actually taking their own lives based on the misery of the experience that they found themselves in. So firstly, I'm so glad that you never harmed yourself, the ultimate act of self-harm. And, that your children have been your incredible source of support. However, if you feel, you have to be clear that if the woman comes into your home, your mental health will deteriorate. And I think that's something that you have to begin to stand up and fight for. Because avoidance won't help you if she comes into because it will be in your home. And we are energy, and we pick up on vibes, and we pick up on frequency. So the challenge is, I think, is getting to break point, and you may well have maneuvered so you've not had the clash. However, it sounds like a clash may come. And if people scapegoat you, if people point you out as the bad guy, if your truth is inconvenient for you, my encouragement is you may well need professional help to get through this. And that's either with myself or somebody else. But I would presume the more you put your foot down about not having her in your home, is the more the backlash will hit you. And I think the backlash can be very profound, and it's going to be unique to you and your personal circumstances. And that's one of the things I have to always be very mindful of as a psychotherapist, is risk. We don't want anyone to harm you, but we also know that when we start to put our boundaries down, that may mean people sanction you and punish you. And how they sanction you and punish you can be wicked and cruel. But the only other option is to then just say yes, yes, yes. And we know already that saying yes has had a profound impact on your well-being. My encouragement, inbox me. Let's have a conversation. I'm happy to talk with you about what your potentials are, because suicide, having your well-being deteriorate, and you said you're already in a high-powered job, there's so much to lose, and there is a profound benefit to having to work through this. There is a profound benefit, but it will be rugged times, because you're going to have pressure on you to concede. You're going to have a pressure on you to step in line. And I think, sometimes we can avoid for so long, but there also comes a time when we have to stand up and say enough is enough. It's like the whole racism thing, Black Lives Matter. It's like enough is enough. And, I would say that you may well benefit from having support to assist you through that process, because going through that alone, and depending on how the backlash is for you, it can be pretty severe. And it may mean, if you choose to do it, you just end up living in fear. And fear is not good for us as humans. Fear compromises, it puts stress on you. And we know that if you feel stress, well, we know that means that, other parts of your body are going to be compromised. So that's how we end up getting things like, illnesses, diseases. When you are in stress mode, your immune system is also compromised. And there's more and more evidence coming out about that. And so, you are entitled to have a calm, happy life. The challenge is freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. And often it demands that we make a stand. And I don't know if there's anything in the Black Lives movements that might speak to you, but it's almost that enough is enough. Can you find your voice in a way where you are safe and no one brings you to harm? Because the other side of that is that you say yes and your well-being, as you've already illustrated, will deteriorate. I hope that has been helpful to you. I feel like I've rambled on, but it is what it is sometimes. If you need to talk, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'm happy to give you some advice, some tips that may be of assistance to you. Feel free to go to my website at keyforchange.com. You are not alone. It's not easy, but a way can be found, and you don't have to suffer. There are choices, uncomfortable choices that you can make. If you want to inbox me, feel free to inbox me. It's your girl Key, psychotherapist at Key for Change. Do take care of you, because if you don't, who will?